Well, welcome very much, everybody, coming to our family event, Fringe, Family Hubs event. And we're never quite sure who's going to turn up. And we had visions of sort of about three people, so it's very welcoming to see you all. And it's, of course, extremely important subject. It's a rather unusual format, but we tried this last year and it seemed to work quite well and people could walk in and out. I'm Lord Farmer, a backbench peer. I was a metals trader most of my life, but have got involved in politics in my old age, really, and particularly in policies to strengthen families. The Ministry of Justice actually asked me to carry out 2 reviews on how to strengthen male and female prisoners' family ties to prevent reoffending and intergenerational crime. Prisoners who receive family visits are 39% less likely to reoffend than those who don't. It's the most effective rehabilitation pathway by a long way, and yet you'll find ministers often talk about the 2 others, which are employment and education, and their rehabilitation level is 10%. This is 39%. Relationships are important. I also co-founded the Family Hubs Network to drive better support for all families who need it. Just give you a few stats. Why do families need it? Those who experience family breakdown when aged 18 or younger, 1, over twice as likely to experience homelessness, twice as likely to be in trouble with the police or spend time in prison, almost twice as likely to experience educational underachievement, almost twice as likely to experience alcoholism, almost twice as likely to experience teen pregnancy, and also to experience mental health issues. And that's just some of the stats. So you can see family breakdown is a huge elephant, I think, in our society, which is ignored. Since 2007, I beg your pardon, I've gone and switched the page over. Family hubs have been promoted since 2007, as I was saying. The groundbreaking Breakthrough Britain report, written for the incoming Conservative government by fellow co-founder Dr. Samantha Callan, who's here today, supporting me, said reducing poverty would be impossible without stemming the tide of family breakdown. Breakthrough Britain, her report recommended a network of local family hubs to deliver systematically early intervention to boost outcomes for all age children. Crucially, this should include relationships and other support parents need to help stabilize families wherever possible. When both parents raise their children together in a low-conflict context, there are many blessings to the family unit, to community, and to the wider society as a whole. Melissa Kearney, University of Maryland economist, has just published The 2-Parent Privilege: How the Decline in Marriage Has Increased Inequality and Lowered Social Mobility, and What We Can Do About It. She urges policymakers to foster a norm of 2-parent homes for children by talking about their benefits. Boys' outcomes are particularly sensitive to time spent with their parents. Hence, we have today here Nav Mirza, who's to describe the need to support the whole family, including after parents have separated, and ensure fathers, not just mothers, know the vital role they can play in their children's flourishing. Since 2007, family hubs have been slowly developing across the country, and now, a mere 16 years later, they're officially government policy, with 130 million going into their development across England. 87 out of 150 upper-tier local authorities have been drawn into 2 family hubs transformation funds so they can A, better integrate their family support, connecting providers from the public, voluntary and private sectors to work with the whole family to resolve problems and transform outcomes for children. B, to ensure better access to that family support. And finally, embed a relational approach in all they do. UCL's Centre for Longitudinal Studies describes good relationships as a health asset, and over 90% of GPs are seeing people about their problematic relationships. but almost 70% feel ill-equipped to advise them and refer people on. Good relational skills and less family breakdown are also essential for the elusive productivity uptick the Chancellor is calling for. Better integration of services through family hubs improves relationships between the public sector, their partners, and boosts productivity. Catherine Barker, at the end here, will talk about this in her remarks. And after we go back to Westminster, I and others must ensure this aspect of family hubs policy makes its way to Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor. Connection, access and relationships are the three pillars of the Department for Education's approach. And as the Minister may elaborate on further, but as this set of principles must also be applied across benefit for the benefit of families. For example, the Children's Commissioner's Family Review emphasised that every government department should connect and work together to develop family strengthening policies. Many say government is irredeemably full of silos, but the Supporting Families cross-government programme pioneered a way of working that helped eliminate much duplication and inefficiency. That must be emulated in how we further implement family hubs. Family hubs could and should provide access points for delivering a much wider range of state-funded services, including DWP's Reducing Parental Conflict programme and advice on child maintenance, and the MOJ's private family law or prisoners' family support. The Health and Social Care Department needs to ensure its new statutory guidance is followed. This stresses the need to integrate family hubs in delivery of mental and physical health services across childhood, especially where conditions have a major psychosocial component. Dr. Mike McKean will argue for this from the front line of child health. Central government cannot expect local authorities to better integrate support and join the dots for hard-pressed families unless they are inspired by and act upon the same ambition. A good point at which to introduce the first speaker on our panel, and everyone will be talking for 4 or 5 minutes or so to enable interaction and questions later on. We're very pleased and privileged to have the new Minister for Families and Children, David Johnson, that he was willing and able to join us despite a flood of other invitations. A formal Social Mobility Commissioner and CEO of the Social Mobility Foundation, he's written about the importance of families and parenting to children's outcomes. So for us, it was an inspired appointment in the recent mini-shuffle. So may I hand over now to David Johnson.